Are we already rolling?
I've been rolling.
Hey everybody, welcome to our wood shop. Oh my god, welcome to the wood shop.
Wood shop. Wait, is that why we named it that?
I guess so.
That's
What is
a
it?
good looking bird there, boys.
Hey everybody, welcome to our workshop. We're gonna do a workshop tour.
We're going to do a workshop tour because we get asked about it a lot.
Yeah, and we've never done it.
But we figured we'd give in to peer pressure.
But we should probably clean first. It's a crime scene in here right now.
It's actually probably worse than...
This is bad.
Ugh, it's overwhelming.
What is?
Just
the mess?
Looking at everything, yeah.
We'll get it taken care of.
Don't worry, buddy. It's going to be all right. Huh?
Are we good? Do we need to stand closer or? Okay.
Do we look natural?
I mean, so we started this yesterday, and the shop was a big mess, and we decided to clean, and it took us a lot longer than we were expecting. So now we can do our not a shop tour.
All right. Let's first maybe just talk about just briefly the space as a whole.
I would say the space as a whole, and probably a running theme that's going to come up, is that you're going to see we are very much not set up for efficient woodworking, but more for filming woodworking.
I mean, the funny thing is, like, we keep a really clean shop for the most part.
Yeah.
But it feels very unorganized. Like, I feel like we're constantly, and it's also just being in a big space, but we're constantly walking back and forth to different things, and it just would be nice to have stuff more thoughtfully placed. The way we came into this space was kind of by chance over time.
Right. I was in this much space to begin with.
Yeah.
Then Sean moved in, and it kind of became like this much space.
Yep.
And also one of the big things that we were going to do was workshops, which all fell apart, but hopefully we'll still be able to do at some point. So we're also kind of set up for that in terms of like a lot of open spaces, a lot of open tables. Why don't you tell the fine people about this table?
It's a table.
It's got four wheels.
It rolls.
Again, for the workshop.
This stuff feels so uninteresting to me. But it's nice to just have like a rolling table. We can roll it, closer to other tables and just use it as a kind of an all-around work table. Same with this. Like, this is almost always just covered in stuff.
Right. Yeah, and this is like a weird mishmash of that was my workbench / outfeed table. That was Sean's workbench, and then it's just kind of like, well, we have these two things. What are we going to do with them? Yeah. And there they are, back to back. Yeah, there's a whole video that I made building this one, so we can link that if you want to see how I built it. Sean built that whole one. He's got a video on his old channel that you can go watch about him building that. Yeah,
back when I lived in Germany and I worked for
Dudseldorf.
Olmia.
Who?
Olmia?
Yeah, I didn't build that.
Now what? We could talk about our table saw. So this actually is more of like a what I would have maybe regardless of filming. We kind of like to keep it open underneath as essentially a second worktop, because whenever you're working on a project, you usually have a bunch of pieces of that project sitting around. So throw them on the underside, and
or just like having, like if we're in the middle of a project, I'll have like 4 things plugged in. It's easy to just have them under the table. You can grab stuff and then get them out of the way.
The actual table saws themselves, we both had the exact same table saw before we combined our shops together.
What's going on out there?
I don't know, just someone's doing a hard...
Doing some Brodies.
So we both had the same table saws before we joined together. Then we added on 2 of these router tables. That was mostly for workshops too. We don't really need 2 router tables, I don't think. But during the workshops we would. And to keep people as far apart as we could, we put them on opposite ends. We mirrored them.
We didn't want people getting too close. They might, scrap with each other.
That's right. What is that hole that's in the board? I've never noticed that before.
Oh my God.
Just a perf? What?
It was at my very first shop when I built this, there was a plug.
I see. There. That makes sense. That's cool.
So I cut it out.
Let's just put a picture of a plug. Let's print out a picture of a plug and put it back there.
Yeah. We both had table saws coming into this. Do you think if we had partnered up and let's say one of us had an old saw? Yeah, like, so there's not a lot of times where we're
having something set up that you don't want to change. It's rare that there's two people cutting at the same time.
There's like a lot of times where even if I'm not like in the middle of a project or something, it's like I just need to make a quick cut for something else in the shop, and you don't want to mess up what you're doing or vice versa. So it is very nice. And then obviously again, when we can start doing workshops, having two is almost required. Yeah.
And then I like to keep a bunch of stuff on the fence here. Nintendo ruler.
Super Mario.
It's got bad guys on the back for centimeters. Ooh, what is Nintendo saying?
We might need to edit this part out. This is controversial.
So they're saying that like America and what are the other, like Myanmar or something?
yeah, the two places.
Yeah, the other places that use the imperial system are the good guys. We're the Luigis and Yoshis of the world, if you will. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is your Koopa Troopas, your Bob-ombs, your, I don't know what those squids are called. Either Bowser Jr. or maybe like Morton or something like that, and Goombas of the world.
And then you got yourself a woodpecker's ad.
I got a lot of woodpecker stuff. People think I'm always doing a woodpecker's ad, but
people always think you're doing a woodpecker's ad. Cue the thing that comes up in the corner if you're curious about these tools.
Actually,
just put it over my face.
Look at the camera so we can get a clean shot of it over his face. If you're curious about those tools, check them out. They really are like the best at what they do. I should build like something under here to keep probably a lot of this stuff and other things that I grab frequently.
These cabinets, we have all the extra,
like inserts,
insert plates, blades, brakes. So like all this, I mean, these cabinets are just full of all sorts of stuff. So it would be nice to get some of it dispersed to like closer to the tool that it's actually being used at. And
then we could use these more for just storage.
Chris, you want to talk about the lathe?
Yeah, I've never used a lathe before. We bought this thing like 2 years ago when Sean needed it for a project, and I was like, yeah, I'll go in halves with you because I'll use it for something eventually. And here we are. And I'll turn something eventually, maybe.
Yeah, we should do some turning soon. What about the drill press?
The drill press is a...
Whoa!
What's going on?
That was a helicopter buzz.
Oh, baby! Oh! Oh, baby!
Our shop tour might be weird and lame compared to other shop tours when it comes to wood shops, but
for air traffic.
I mean, yeah, like, are you kidding me? Okay, where were we?
A couple of don't film them.
Yeah,
They're
look at the dirty. Come look at the subway tile. Look at that. That's nice. There's a shower too. Talk about the.
Well, I'll just quickly go through them. Yeah. So, for example, that bandsaw, this joiner, that planer, that edge sander, but all that stuff. Like, this is all the stuff that I bought when I first started woodworking. They're good. They're great tools.
Good condition.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of something that I would tell people when they're starting is if you can, like, get better stuff than worse stuff because you'll keep it for 10 years or longer. It'll last you.
You don't necessarily need to drop a ton of money on brand new tools. Take that money and you can stretch it even further on quality used tools. Speaking, you were talking about the drill press. Even though it's super old and needs a ton of work, it has drilled holes for me for the past 8 years or whatever it's been, and I totally fine. Like, I have no problems with it.
Okay, now what?
Let's keep walking around. I'm sure people are curious as what's down this dark hall.
Yes. Down this dark hall are extra clamps, a bunch of Bloom drawer slides because we use a lot of those, some of my shoes. Yeah. Oh, here's our kitchen, if you can call it that. It's overflow for some furniture, some microphones, some granola bars. Actually, come here. This is the pride of the shop.
The whole shop tour was basically leading up to this point.
This is a white Westinghouse microwave. If you're looking for a wave, this is kind of your Cadillac.
If you don't know much about white Westinghouse, go give it a Google.
Read the Wikipedia
because you'll be blown away. Just for a little example, just listen to the action of these buttons.
Woo! Now just listen to the end chime.
You get that post timeout burn.
A little extra second of wave in action. Ooh, that opens nice.
Yeah. Look at the way she's back. Got this nice...
A positive click stop. I should probably give people a rundown of proper microwave etiquette too. So, anything less than 10 seconds, you can push. Actually, I'll say anything less than 15, you're good to put it in there. By the time you get up to like 20, don't push 2-0. That's stupid. Hit 2-2. That's much more efficient. So you got 1 through 15 is a solid push. Then you got your 22, 33, 44, 55. Now, from there, 55 actually, no, that's off the table. 55 is off. Once you get up to 55, you're going to go for a quick minute.
Yeah.
Let me cancel that out.
And then, once you're over a minute, you got to put in a minute 12, let's say.
Yes, a minute 12. Do not push 1-1-2.
That's foolish.
What you want to do is 7-2.
Or if we're being honest with ourselves, a 7-7.
Yeah, exactly. Good catch. I was quizzing you, but you
don't want to be hanging around your other wave head friends and you're over here
look like an idiot
pressing 1-1-2 like a fool.
So be like, oh, this guy's never waved. That's a true sign of a rook.
Honestly, we need to probably stop here. This should be a whole other video on its own. How to use a microwave.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of the kitchen. Hey, before we keep going, I just want to take a minute to thank Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Both Chris and I have been using Squarespace to build and maintain our websites for years now, and honestly, it's one of the best choices we made when starting our businesses. At the time, I had no idea what I needed to do to build a website, but Squarespace makes it super easy to get up and running with plenty of professional-looking templates to choose from, as well as making things like purchasing domains really simple. Squarespace also has plenty of e-commerce tools to help you grow your business, things like inventory management, a simple and secure checkout process, and unlimited products allow us to easily manage online transactions and not get bogged down with mundane tasks so that we can devote more time to doing the things we enjoy, like touring our shop. So if you're thinking about starting a website, or even if you already have one, go check out Squarespace to see if it might be a better option for you. Head over to squarespace.com/Foureyes for a free trial. Then when you're ready to launch, use the offer code Foureyes to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. All right, thanks Squarespace. Now let's get back to this shop tour.
All right, here we have more clamps, my drills. This is like the one thing that Festool has given me. I actually do want to do like...
We should do one of those ones where we like put 2 big screws and we go like, brrr, you know, you see them on like Instagram.
Yeah, who cares about that? Like, so what makes you grab this one over this one?
I think because it has triple hammer action.
What happened there?
What happened there? Fly. Triple hammer, and it's an IP56.
I hear you. That makes sense. I mean, I can't argue that, although I'll tend to go with this one because of the Tide 18.
Yeah.
How fast does the battery come out? I'd say it's even.
Oh, God. None of this is funny to anyone.
So this kind of fits the same thing that we were talking about over there, where it's like functional shop stuff, but then like it could have probably been more functional, but with some style thrown into it. Like, this is a weird looking piece. I'm sure I could have come up with something that's more efficient than this, but I want it to look cool, so whatever. Dude, quit judging me. But anyway, this is the XCarve that I got probably 4 years? Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago, and you had the exact same one.
Yeah.
That we did not bring down here and put in the shop because it seemed weird to have two of them. But I mean, it is nice because then we have that work surface that we can put stuff on top of.
This definitely, I mean, but speaking of like more flat surfaces, this also becomes one that just gets full of stuff.
Live and learn, right?
Right. Okay. This corner is just like
our worst corner.
Yeah, and like speaking of earlier, we were talking about just there's just stuff, like all these drawers are just filled with random
fly. Then I don't know. I see that fly. He's all over you.
I know he loves me. Really annoying.
Also, I will say in our defense, it's only been like the past 3 months where we've finally felt secure in being here.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a little touch and go up to that point.
Yeah.
So and it'll be a little different.
And the way that we acquired the space, how it was so like, you know, you had that and then we had that and then we got a little bit more and then it was constantly this shifting and changing space.
It would have been better if we'd entered this place as a blank slate, it would be different than what it looks like right now. Oh boy. Tell them about this table that the CNC, the XCarve Pro sits on.
XCarve Pro. That's our second CNC machine, which is great. And it's sitting on, and I don't even know if this was in the video.
Like, did we talk about? I don't think we did.
I don't think we did because it was such an ordeal. But this is half. I made that humongous
winery table.
Yeah, winery table. It's curved and it was all veneered and stuff. And so one half of that table, when I made it, the veneer started to bubble up and peel up. And I tried everything to fix it, but eventually it just got to the point where I had to remake half the table. So this is that half. It's now our CNC table.
Yeah, it's
the nicest CNC table. So it's very strange, but
I will say, other than the white Westinghouse, this is probably the second pride of the shop right here.
Yeah,
is this little?
Look, I mean, you can put this thing right out on the edge, and she ain't budging.
She's going nowhere.
Yeah. Also, our custom dust collection. That's
a little clamping block. That's money.
Two things I'm pretty proud of.
Oh, and our artwork here. Actually, speaking of that table, here was Sean testing out something.
Look, you just added to the art.
Yeah, try to recreate that.
It's living art. Yeah.
And I said, hey, that looks like a piece of art. We should hang it on the wall. And so we put his little business card on there, and there she sat. And then I thought, you know what? I need a piece of art. And one day I was doing some painting. And I was using this little piece of plywood as my don't get paint all over what I was working on to set my little jars on. And I made this little thing that I think looks like a cute little, not going to say what it is.
Guess what you
guys
think
guess.
it is.
Leave in the comments what this looks like to you.
Here, did you get a good shot of it?
Get a good shot. But yeah, that's our little art gallery that we have.
So yeah, if this whole furniture thing doesn't work out,
we'll do art.
Oh
my, hey, living.
That's right. Now look at this.
Ooh, that thing just went up in value.
So yeah, if anyone wants to make any offers, we're open. But just know these are special to us, so they ain't going easy. All right, is that it?
I think so.
Well, thanks for coming by.
Yeah, for the world's worst shop tour. I mean, that will be the ending, I guess. This will end hopefully before that, but then life will go on. I guess it kind of goes on
even beyond. Yeah, as long as the building stands.
Someday my great-great-great-grandkids will watch this clip and be like, that guy's dead.
What happens when the Earth goes into the sun?
Then this is gone.
All right.
Unless
we take a hard drive to Mars or we shoot it out into space. We'll shoot it out past the solar system.
Yeah, we're going to have to get way outside of the sun's reach. If this data ever gets out there and there's some
if anyone's watching
extraterrestrials watching,
click that like and subscribe button.
Yeah, and Earth was not a cold, dead place. That's a cool ending.
Let's get a more normal ending just in case that doesn't.
There's no way we're doing a normal.
Well,
ending.
like